Hey family, it's your girl, Revolutionary Rika, and I'm here with my next piece for such a time as this. They tried to contain me, but God gave me an assignment. Like Esther, I was positioned in places I wasn't supposed to reach. My great exponentially cousin, who didn't know she was royalty when God whispered over her, "You are here for a reason." And here I am, not by accident, not by luck, not because they chose me, but because God positioned me in rooms I was never supposed to enter, at tables I was never supposed to sit, holding keys to doors they tried to lock me out of, for such a time as this. Do you know what that means? It means the famine was already planned. It means the genocide was already in motion. It means Haman's gallows were already built before Esther ever stepped foot in the palace. It means my existence is a disruption. Before I was born, they were writing policies to contain me. Before I took my first breath, they were building concrete ceilings to cap me. Before I spoke my first word, they were crafting narratives about who I could be, what I could lead, how high I could climb. But God said, not this one. This one? This one will walk into King's court uninvited and live. This one will open her mouth when silence would have been safer. This one will expose the systems designed to destroy her people. This one will carry the stories of the ones who came before and the ones coming after. This one was born for such a time as this. Esther didn't volunteer. She was terrified. The law was clear. Approach the king without being summoned, death. Speak truth to power, death. Risk everything for people who might not even survive to say thank you, death. But Mordecai asked her a question that wakes me up sometimes at night. Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this? Translation: maybe all those closed doors were God closing the wrong rooms so you'd be in the right one when it mattered most. Maybe every betrayal, every person who walked away, every position you deserved but didn't get, every time you were overlooked, underestimated, dismissed, maybe that was God clearing the stage so when you finally stepped into your purpose, there'd be no question whose hand was on you. I am Rika, Dr. Rika to some, Dr. Chambers to others, researcher, leader, educator, historian, truth teller, raised by my mama in San Francisco, taught by my pops, the real history that doesn't live in textbooks. I hold an EDD. They said I'd never finish. I run organizations. They said I'd never lead. I speak on platforms. They said I'd never access. I steward resources. They said I'd never manage. But baby, was I born for such a time as this. Born to document the stories of Black women in the workplace, because nobody has to hold the mirror up to these systems. Born to lead, teach a truth, because educators are warriors who need their wounds to heal, to become whole again. Born to serve on boards and build affordable housing, because my people deserve to come home to dignity. Born to teach financial literacy through the lens of liberation with Kingdom Destiny Changers, because poverty was a trap, not a destiny. Born to walk into rooms and change the temperature. Born to carry my father's GI Bill story and turn it into policy change. Born to say things they'd wish I'd whisper. Born to take up space they'd wish I'd vacate. But I was born for such a time as this. Here's what they don't tell you about Esther. She fasted for 3 days before she moved. 3 days of silence, 3 days of preparation, 3 days of God fortifying her bones for a moment that would only last minutes. I know that fast. I lived in those 3 days. The ones where you're between the calling and the obedience, between the whisper and the roar, between the who you were and who you are becoming. The wilderness wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Every closed door was God saying, not yet. Even every betrayal was God saying, not them. Every delay was God saying, I'm developing you for what's next. Because when Esther finally walked into that throne room, she wasn't begging, she was declaring. And when I walk into these boardrooms, these classrooms, these spaces where they've never seen someone like me lead, I'm not asking for permission. I'm announcing the shift. Haman built gallows 75 feet high. He wanted to make sure everyone could see Mordecai die. He wanted to make an example out of Mordecai. He wanted to send a message. This is what happens when you don't bow. When you don't bow to the powers that be. When you don't bow to these little gods. This is what happens. But here's the plot twist. Haman hanged on his own gallows. The trap he set for Mordecai became his own grave. And every system designed to destroy me, every concrete ceiling built to contain me, every person who plotted my downfall because my light exposed their mediocrity. Watch God turn their gallows into my pulpit. Watch God take this very thing meant to kill me and make it the platform I preach from, because I was born for such a time as this. Esther's story ends with a decree. The king couldn't reverse Haman's law, but he gave Esther's people the right to defend themselves. He gave them weapons. He gave them authority. He gave them the power to fight back. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm not just surviving these systems. I'm documenting them. I'm not just enduring these narratives. I'm rewriting them. I'm not just navigating these barriers. I'm dismantling them. I'm giving my people weapons, financial literacy, healing-centered practices, their own stories and their own voices, the truth that the system was rigged, but God rigged the outcome. So yes, I am double fire. Fire that purifies, fire that illuminates, fire that destroys what needs to be destroyed and refines what needs to be refined. I'm Esther, walking into the king's court. I am Mordecai, refusing to bow to Haman's ego. I am the decree that reversed the death sentence. I am the 3 days of fasting turned into a lifetime of feasting. I am the answer to my ancestors' prayers. I am the fulfillment of my father's dreams. I am the beginning of the legacy my descendants will build on. I was born for such a time as this, not to be comfortable, not to be convenient, not to make them feel better about their systems, but to be kingdom, to be disruptive, to be undeniable. And baby, I'm just getting started. The gallows they built, I'm using the wood to build tables where my people can finally sit and eat in peace for such a time as this. Amen, amen, and so it is. Y'all be good.